Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to my home office, or what used to be my home office before I moved into the library. Today I'm going to be doing the second half of this wardrobe tour that I started back in the fall winter. And so now that we're firmly in the spring season, we're in the third week of Easter here. I thought it'd be worthwhile to pull out all the spring summer clothes and do a little tour. Again, it's mostly for my benefit, but I feel like the clothes horse among us may also be interested or benefit from it. So I'm in, I guess, the fourth month of this no buy year that I've decided upon. I decided back in December that the wardrobe is sort of growing to gargantuan proportions, and it's time to stop and enjoy what I have and not acquire anything else. So it's been a pretty good couple of months. Got a few things altered, swapped in a few different sizes that I think work for me better now. So things seem to be going well. I'm looking forward to the spring summer season as it heats up here in Los Gatos. It's been kind of a strange couple of months. We had a heat wave in March where it was summer temperatures basically in the 90s. And now in April, it's been raining a little bit. It's cooled down a little bit, but all the winter clothes are firmly stowed away. So if it rains anymore, I'll just get out my trench coat and hunker down, I guess. Okay, so I'll go through kind of the same order that I did last time, kind of from top to bottom. I'll start with suits rather than outerwear because, well, I don't have very much outerwear for the spring summer because it's hot. Then I'll move on to sport coats, move on to bottoms, trousers, shorts, that kind of thing. Then go to shirts and polos, then move to shoes, and pull out a couple of sweaters, a few light jackets. Then move on to accessories, neckwear, pocket squares, and of course hats, which are one of my favorite things about the spring summer is that you can wear hats and not look like you're wearing a costume, because hats, after all, are functional when it's 90 or 100 degrees, and they can be fantastically stylish as well, I think. Okay, so we'll get started, I guess. So the suit collection here is on the rack. I guess maybe I'll start with this. This is actually not a suit, it's a waistcoat, but it's been one of my favorite pieces that, since the season has changed. This is a double-breasted linen waistcoat from the maker Walker Slater that I like a lot. It's very nice for layering under jackets and suits, and it's not too warm, and pretty much goes with everything, being this kind of light buff color. So I've enjoyed pairing this with, well, pretty much every jacket I have kind of works with it. So that's a favorite. Once I'm out of the no buy year, I think I'd like to pick up a couple other kind of spring summer style waistcoats, because it's a look that I like a lot, being able to layer different things. And of course, the thing about the spring summer is it's too hot to layer. But if you have waistcoats, light linen waistcoats, I find those can do just fine. So moving into the suits proper, this is my navy suit. This is kind of an all-rounder suit that I think in the last video it was at the Alterations tailor at the time, but something I got at a thrift store. It's made by the British brand Aquascutum. Nice full cut. Pants have pleats and cuffs and all of that. And it's a little heavy for the middle of summer, but I have it out still, as it tends to be kind of moderate temperatures in April. So I'll put this away as soon as the temperatures get into the 80s reliably. But I thought I'd include it in the video since it wasn't in the last video. So that's the navy suit. There's the gray herringbone suit, which actually was featured in the fall winter video, and this was actually my newest suit at the time I filmed that. It's also a very lightweight wool, so I'm keeping it around for spring, and probably I'll even wear this in the summer on certain occasions where a suit might be desirable or necessary. It's very light. You can see the kind of herringbone pattern. It's cut in this kind of Italian style. It's got the shirt style shoulder, kind of wider lapels. The pants are nice. They have a pleat and so on. And this is from Spear Mackay, if you don't remember from the last video. Moving along here, we have this lovely light blue, kind of a pinstripe pattern wool suit. It's a little bit of a heavier wool, so I'll probably put this away when the temperatures get a little higher. But for the spring, it's a lovely color to match with spring pastels and that kind of thing. And I don't know the origins of this suit. It was made in France. I bought it from a fellow on eBay who's based in Jordan, a young guy who's selling vintage stuff. And it took ages to get here from Jordan, but I was pretty happy with it when it arrived. A nice kind of vintage style. Okay, moving along. Now once I put the navy aquascutum away, I'll swap it for this cotton linen suit that's from J. Crew. I can't remember the exact proportions. What is it? 64? No, it's 80-20 cotton linen, and it's like, as you can see, it's totally unstructured. It's got no kind of padding or anything. It was a little bit tight on me. I had it taken out in the last year, so it fits reasonably well now. It's not the best quality. I think probably I'd like to upgrade this at some point, but for my purposes now, it works for more, I don't know, formal occasions in the summer where you don't want to look too dandyish. The next suit, this is actually the suit that kind of set me off on my menswear journey back in, I don't know, 22 or 23? It was kind of as we were coming out of COVID, and my wife and I got invited to a wedding in Los Angeles, and I thought, what am I going to wear? It's going to be, so hot. And I didn't really know very much about style, but I kind of heard about, summer fabrics, linens, and that kind of thing. So I thought, I'll have a made-to-measure suit made, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And so this is a brown linen suit from Indochino, and fit reasonably well when I got it. I've since had it altered to be a little less slim, and I got this awful American flag lining that you can see, which was a very bad idea, but I was pretty impressed by the novelty at the time. And actually since then I've had a lot of it taken out. You can see it's all rough. The thing with the linings is if you get a polyester lining in a linen suit, it's kind of useless because it makes it very hot. So last season I pulled a lot of the lining out, and so it looks really bad on the inside, but you can't tell when I'm wearing it, and it actually did kind of make a difference to the fit and the feel of the suit. So I'm going to keep this suit, I think, for at least for sentimental reasons. Maybe I'll upgrade it at some point, but it certainly still looks pretty good. And okay, so coming down to the last suit, this is sort of my boldest, dandyish suit that I had made last year. This is a bold, kind of double-breasted linen suit that I had made by the Hong Kong custom made-to-measure tailor Nita Fashions, which is associated with a certain right-wing political commentator. They come around to various cities, and they'll measure you up and then send you the suit. It's kind of ridiculously cheap for what it is. So they came to San Francisco, and I got measured up, and I really wanted a suit like this, and I couldn't really find anything off the rack, and so I thought, well, I'll just have it made. And turned out pretty good. It's got patch pockets. It's what's that called, a 4-on-2, something like that. I got cuffs on the pants, pleated. I asked him to make them with no pockets, and there's no belt loops or anything like that, so it's quite cool. It's quite a cool dandyish suit. Always sort of turns heads when you walk down the street, which I don't always like, but such as it is. Okay, so that's the suit collection. So I guess I've got, if you exclude the kind of transitional pieces, I guess I've only got 4 summer suits. I tend not to wear suits as much in the summer, mostly due to the heat, but also, I don't know, suits for me are kind of a fall-winter thing. So I've got tons of fall-winter suits, but only a few summer suits, which is ironic because the hot season here in the Bay Area lasts a lot longer than the winter season. It goes from, well, pretty much March, April till October. Sometimes you get like a 100-degree day in October. So I cling on to the fall winter as long as possible, but once the temperatures go up, it's time for a change. Okay, so I got to move these and then somehow get the sport coats up. And as ever, I didn't really plan this out very well, so I'll just kind of swap them one by one and try to keep the dialogue going so you don't get too bored there on the internets. So as I'm putting these up, you'll see most of my summer sport coats are blue. I always get people asking me what my favorite color is, mostly students or children. And I always say blue, and I always think, that's kind of a boring color. Everybody's favorite color is blue, but at least in menswear, it's kind of the most popular color. And well, I have blue eyes, so it kind of goes well with my complexion and eye color. But of course, the fun in menswear is to sort of mix colors, and blue is a nice base on which to mix things. Okay, let's see if I can get these 3 on here. So the sport coat collection is a little more numerous than the suit collection. I almost dropped that one. My philosophy for sport coats, which kind of developed unconsciously, is to basically get spring-summer versions of the sport coats that I have for fall-winter, excluding things like tweed and so on. And so if you watch my fall-winter video, you'll find a lot of overlap in terms of color. It's just that things are in a lighter fabric, lighter texture, and so on. Okay, so here we've got the sport coat collection, which is at 7, I guess, not including the one that I'm wearing, which I guess I'll speak about at the end of the video. Here's the first one here. This is just your classic navy blazer. I think this is Polo University by Ralph Lauren or whatever. I got this on eBay for very little money, probably $30, something like that. I think it's probably from the 70s, judging by the lapels. It's made by this maker, Woody's. What does it say? Woody's since 1952. No idea where that was, but I can assure you it's probably not around anymore. And this is just kind of your classic navy blazer. It's got that kind of, I don't know what you call that, piping around the edge, which is very distinctive. It's got the gold buttons and so on. I actually had this shortened ever so slightly because it was kind of long on me. And I know you're not supposed to shorten jackets, but I think I kind of got away with it. The purists and the people who are into proportions and stuff will probably notice, but not your average person. You can see there's a little bit of dirt there on the button. I need to clean that up a little bit. And so that's your classic navy blazer. It's not the lightest wool fabric, so when it gets to be really, really hot, I'll probably just put this away. But for the early summer and the spring, it works very nicely. Okay, so that's the classic blue blazer. Next here is something rather bold, and it's a bit of a story to go along with this one. This was part of a suit that I got from Indochino back when I was still kind of starting out. And well, as you get older and more mature and knowledgeable about menswear, your tastes change over time. And there's always this question of, well, what do I do with this old piece that's not quite to my taste or doesn't quite fit the way that I want it to? And so I've had to encounter that problem on a number of occasions. And I encountered that problem with this suit this season because I put the pants on. I just thought, ugh, I don't want to wear these. I don't want to wear this as a suit. The pants are kind of too tight, and I already had them like taken out, and it just doesn't work with the kind of double-breasted silhouette. But I like the jacket, and I like the fabric. It's this nice kind of, you can't really see it very well on the video, but it's this nice kind of Prince of Wales fabric, and it's a pretty light wool, so you can wear it in the spring, maybe not the summer because it's double-breasted. So I wanted to make it look more like a sport coat. So what I did was I just replaced the buttons. The buttons used to be these kind of brown horn buttons, and I bought these beautiful mother of pearl buttons online, which actually cost a little bit of money, and had my alterations tailor sew them on. So now it looks, I don't know, now I think it looks kind of cool. It doesn't look like a suit jacket anymore. It looks more like a blazer, even though the fabric is more kind of a worsted suit fabric. So that one's kind of fun. First couple of times I wore that, I was walking down the street in San Francisco, and somebody drove by in a pickup truck and yelled, "Where's the boat?" And I was wearing these like kind of white pants and boat shoes, actually. So that actually kind of was the look I was going for, so I wasn't too bothered by it. Moving along with the blue theme, this is another Indochino jacket that I bought early on that I've hung on to. I kind of got this for teaching purposes when it's hot in the early fall. And it's kind of a lighter color, very similar color to the suit, the light blue suit that I had up earlier. It's in a wool linen fabric, 85% wool, 15% linen, and I don't know, I still like it. It fits pretty well. It's got this kind of goofy lining. I don't know, it looks like vaguely Islamic, I guess you would say. I'll show you the little inscription that I had in the middle. Whereas I was quite embarrassed by the American flag lining, the little inscription that I put in these Indochino jackets I rather like. So that's a little Latin motto that I've adopted. Etiam si omnes ego non, which means even if everybody, not me, which has a certain kind of philosophical, religious meaning to it, but also, of course, it applies to clothes as well. Just because the rest of the world is scrubby and sloppy, we don't have to be. We can set a better example. So I always kind of like that. Okay, this is the last, well, almost the last blue jacket. This was really kind of white blue. I bought this because I thought it was a seersucker jacket, and I think it was even described as such online when I bought it on eBay. It's from J. Crew, and it's very light cotton fabric, but it's actually not seersucker. It's what's called pincord, which is a kind of very light, fine kind of corduroy fabric. So I was kind of disappointed by that because I really did want a seersucker jacket and I just didn't really know. But this one kind of achieves the same effect because you can see it's got the kind of stripe pattern and fits really well. I think this one fit right away. I don't think I needed any alterations at all. And actually I wore this yesterday and rather like it. Okay, moving along. We got this green. This is maybe the most unusual sport jacket I have for the summer. This is also an eBay purchase. This is 100% Italian linen, I believe, and it's cut in a kind of safari style. It's more sport coat than safari, I suppose, because it's a little more tailored and more structured. But you can see it's got a button flap chest pocket, which is kind of unusual. Not so good if you want to wear a pocket square, but I tend just not to wear the pocket square when I wear this jacket. And of course the flap pockets, and it's even got I don't know what you call that. It's got sort of pleated pockets. There's a technical term for that, I can't remember. And you can see it's only quarter line, so it's very cool. And the color is beautiful. And it's kind of I think of it as kind of the spring summer version of the green jacket that I'm wearing now. It's a nice kind of variation. And I think I took this to Las Vegas last summer. I was wearing it in like 110, maybe even 115 degree heat, and actually it held up pretty well. So I kind of like that jacket. Okay, I'll move things along a little more quickly now. We'll do the last two together. Here's a kind of khaki camel colored jacket. This is in a wool hop sack, and I guess it's a blazer. It's got brass buttons. I don't know. Don't tend to think of camel as being a blazer color, but it's got these nice little brass buttons. Again, half lined. This was an eBay purchase. I don't know what the maker is. What's the maker? Oh, Kuppenheimer. Yeah, that's a classic vintage maker. That's a nice one to wear when it heats up. Actually, I haven't worn it yet this season because I kind of wait till it gets into the 80s to wear that. And then the last one here is this cheap J. Crew chambray jacket. Again, totally unstructured. I think I bought this for $15 or something a couple weeks before we went to Hawaii. And so I wore it in Hawaii. 100% cotton. It's kind of it's kind of on the slim side, but it's actually nice and long. It's not too short, but it's got I don't know, nice buttons and everything, patch pockets. Very comfortable. Tend to wear this when it gets hot. Okay, so that's the sport coat collection. Guess I'll just leave these. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave those hanging there. I'm gonna continue now with bottoms, I guess, with trousers. Actually, you know what? It would be nice to hang up the trousers. Forget about it. Let's not do that. Okay, so here's the trousers. Start with the boldest ones. These are my white, kind of cream white trousers. Start with this one, I guess. This is a pair from O'Connell's that actually I just had replaced because the previous pair I had was too slim. And as I said earlier, your tastes change and then you have to sort of rebuy things, which is annoying because it feels like you're wasting money, but it's money well spent, I think, if you can get the size that fits and feels good and a nice cut. And so I upgraded these recently. It's got the pleats and the cuffs on the bottom, nice heavy weight, very cool look with blazers and so on. And then I have this kind of off-white cream pair, which is a more kind of contemporary cut. And these are in a cotton as well, but a little lighter. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how I justify having both of these, but to me, this one's a little more formal. This one's a little more casual. I don't know. Moving along here. Let's see here. Let me put the ones that I've draped them over here. Here's some seersucker trousers with a gray stripe, which are kind of cool. These are from Burl or Burley, or however you say that. And actually, these ones are cut a little narrow for my taste now, so I think I'm probably going to replace these with a different size, and hopefully that's the last time I have to do that. But these are kind of fun to wear with jackets, pretty versatile. Treat them like a gray pant basically. So I got the seersucker trousers, but not the jacket. Someday I'd really like a suit because it's very versatile. You can break it up in various ways, but I like these because they have a gray stripe, which is unusual. Typically it's a blue stripe. I like the red stripe too. I think those are really cool. Kind of candy stripe. They look like a ice cream salesman or something like that. Okay, moving along. Here's your classic khakis. These are also from Burl. I think they're called the Charleston khaki. And I got these basically in the same cut with the pleats and the cuffs and everything. And the fabric is really nice. So that was kind of an upgrade. Moving on. This was a Goodwill find. very light, fine wool trouser. I can't really say what the color is. They're kind of a taupe color or something, but they also look green, especially when I wear them with this jacket, which I often do. It's a very fine Italian wool, which I think was made by, I won't be able to find, oh, here it is, yeah. What is it called? Oh, no, I got to pronounce the Italian. Trabaldo Tonia Risalto, natural bi-stretch system super 110s woven in Italy. And I think it's made by JB Britches or something from Nordstrom. Very nice, drapes really nicely. No cuffs, but I find it's for the summer. It's sometimes nice to have a pair that doesn't have cuffs. Moving into some more casual things, I'll move through these a little more quickly. These are just kind of your standard chinos, linen cotton chinos, navy, kind of a light blue from J. Crew, and these are the light gray or beige or whatever. No cuffs on the bottom, no creases, just kind of casual pants, which are very useful for summer. And then rounding out the trousers, a very bold pair of red trousers that I bought. I don't know why I bought these, but they're kind of fun, and it's a very fine corduroy. So in the summer, it's probably a little too hot for corduroy, but at least in the spring, you can wear this with a blazer and kind of stand out in a certain kind of way. I guess there's some tradition for wearing red pants with blazers. It looks kind of loud. I think I bought these before I found the burgundy pair that I like for the winter, which are a little more tasteful, but keep these around for those occasions where you want to stick out in a certain kind of way. Okay, so that's it for the trousers. I think there are 10 pairs total. I find I accumulate trousers kind of quickly, and then I end up getting rid of a lot of them. And it's an easy thing to experiment with because you can always find them for reasonable prices in thrift stores. You can always find things in nice cuts, nice vintage cuts, and usually you only have to do very minimal alterations, you know, to shorten the hem or whatever. And it's usually pretty easy to get a good fit. But I pared down the collection to 10, so I think that's gonna last me reasonably well through the spring and the summer. Okay, we'll move on to shorts. I actually did pull some shorts out. I don't know. Should we wear shorts? It's a controversial subject. When it gets hot, you kind of can't avoid it. I'll just pull out the interesting ones. These Madras shorts. The other ones are kind of boring. These are Polo Ralph Lauren shorts that I got on eBay. These are pretty fun to wear with polo shirts. They have lots of different colors in them. You can wear this with like a yellow, this one with a green or a pink or something like that. Very easy to combine. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. Part of the prep look. Okay, so that's it for bottoms. Okay, moving on to shirts now. I have these all kind of hung up over here. I guess I'll just kind of pull them out. So the spring summer shirts, they're mostly blues. There's a white spread collar shirt. I basically divide my dress shirts into kind of more formal shirts with spread collars, which I've always liked, and most of those are from Charles Tyrwhitt, as I think I also talked about in the fall winter video. And this is kind of a lighter poplin, you know, for wearing with suits or whatever. And then the other shirts I have are the OCBDs, most of which I've gotten from Spear and Mackay. So here's a light blue one. The fabric is a little thick maybe for wearing in the heat of the summer, but it's not quite that hot yet. So I have a bunch of these. These are all various variations on blue. Here's a kind of a linen one. This is a check. I don't have a lot of checks. This one I really like. I think it's called a reverse stripe, and it's got a cotton linen blend. So I like to swap this one out for your kind of traditional university stripe that I would wear in the fall winter. This one is kind of interesting. This is a Brooks Brothers club collar shirt that I'm going to keep out for the spring summer. You can see I've put some safety pins in here. I've been messing around with tie pins and tie clips and that kind of thing, collar pins or whatever you call them. And so this is my sort of designated collar pin shirt, and so I stuck the holes in there, and I try to keep them kind of fresh, and it's good for certain vintage looks. Actually, speaking of vintage looks, I have this. My kid's school has this great Gatsby party on Saturday, and so I'm gonna try to put together some kind of Gatsby-ish look, and I'll probably use that club collar shirt. Even though if you watch the movie, he doesn't wear those. It's actually the supporting character who wears the club collar shirt, but probably most people won't know the difference. Here's a pink check The other shirts are more kind of adventurous in terms of color. Go through these a little more quickly. You got your greens. This shirt I find is not very versatile, but looks really good with certain things. Your butcher stripe green. I wear this in the winter too. Green is a great color because it kind of bridges the seasons, doesn't it? Lavender shirt. Wear that during Lent or Advent, of course. Here's a linen shirt in a bold brown stripe. I really like this one. It's good with kind of earth tones. This is like a cream linen. Well, most of these are button-down collars. This one I really like. It's kind of a candy red stripe. Looks kind of cool. And then of course your classic pink OCBD. Shirts, I've found a lot of the shirts, my shirts are still kind of on the slimmer side, and of course I'm rather slim. And if I could snap my fingers, I think I would like to change some of the sizes, but I have so many of them now that I just can't. I don't really want to replace them all, and they all fit reasonably well. But every once in a while I'll have one that is a little bigger, and I go, oh gee, I really kind of like this looser fit. So they're not all the best quality. I didn't pay that much money for them, so maybe as I get older I'll replace them with some nicer stuff as I proceed. So those are the shirts. I have a few polos here that I pulled off just to change it up. Good for casual occasions. You got your navies, you got your orange, you got your red, you got your yellow. I don't have a green or a purple. Almost have the full rainbow. A purple polo would be nice. Actually, a green one would be nice too. Okay, so those are the shirts, and so I guess we're down to the shoes now. The shoes I have kind of piled up underneath the rack here. Seeing how I'm going to proceed. I guess I'll go from least formal to most formal. So I guess the summer shoe is really the loafer, isn't it? So I guess I'll start with the loafers, and I have quite a few pairs. Here's your kind of tan loafer. These are from Allen Edmonds. I got these at Goodwill and had the soles and the heels replaced for not very much money. It's kind of a nice investment. They're in pretty good shape. You can see in the bottom there. These are in a kind of a tan color, as we joke, linked in leather. Don't wear these with navy, but they're nice with lighter fabrics, lighter trousers. Here's some bold shoes. These are boat shoes from Polo, Ralph Lauren. I think they did these for the Olympics, red, white, and blue. Not very versatile, but kind of cool. I'll probably be wearing these on the 4th of July this year. I got them on eBay. They actually came and they had this kind of awful smoky smell that I think I've mostly gotten out, but it's one of the things on eBay. I haven't had too many bad experiences with smells, but I don't know. I guess if anything smelled like smoke, I guess the shoes is probably the least bad thing to smell like smoke. So those are the loafers. Let's see, how should I proceed? There's some more unusual things here before I get into the other loafers. I bought these last summer. They're like Mexican sandals. I don't know what they're called, hirachis or something like that. They're kind of, I don't know. They're a big pain to break in, and I can't say I wear them that often, but they're kind of cool looking for those occasions where you want to wear what look like, sandals or flip-flops, but still have some element of gravitas or style or whatever. Speaking of style, here's my desert boots. I really like these. These are the classic Clark desert boots. They're not the best quality, but these are great for traveling. I usually wear these when I travel in the nice kind of suede color. Okay, so moving on now to the loafers more proper. Let's see here. Take these out. I can't remember if these are in the winter, fall winter video. These are like lizard skin or something. Got these at a thrift store. Tassel loafers from the maker called Metzland Burgundy. I find I like burgundy in the summer. I remember I wore these last year with those cream trousers I had earlier. Kind of a cool look. Moving on, some woven loafers, kind of Italian maker. I think they're Blake stitched. They're not the best quality. I got these fairly early on. The last is kind of pointy too, as you'd expect with the Italians, but they kind of work with some sort of looks in place of kind of a penny loafer or whatever. Not too bad. Now here's kind of an unusual tassel loafer. These are from Allen Edmonds. These are the Cody model. I don't think they make these anymore, but I found these on eBay. Actually, this is one of the first pairs of shoes that I bought on eBay, and that kind of opened up Pandora's box. Is when you can get nice shoes for very little money. It's very tempting not to stock up and buy lots of different styles and so on. So So these are kind of fun. I don't know, a little woven on the end. Now I tend to wear these without socks or sockless, no-show socks or whatever you call those. There's a suede loafer, very versatile, very nice for spring, good for fall, winter too, but try not to wear them in the rain if possible. Those are very versatile. And then the last pair of loafers, these are my boldest and dare I say coolest loafer, the Spectator tassel loafer. These are also from Allen Edmonds. I think these are called the Berwick model. These are very cool, very bold. I wore these on a Disney cruise once, that was fun. Okay, so that's it for the loafers. And so I guess the majority of my summer shoe collection are loafers, and I guess that's only fitting since that's the best time to wear loafers when the temperature gets up. But I do have a few pairs of Oxfords that I like to wear with suits and other more formal looks. Here's your classic brown suede shoes, also from Allen Edmonds. Looks like I need to give them a little touch up there on the toe. I wore these yesterday. I like to wear those with suits, navy suits, that kind of thing. Kind of softens everything. Here's your tan brogues wingtips, or as we say, LinkedIn leather. Kind of as a joke. Those who know will know. I like these worn with light colored pants. Looks good with the seersucker and other kinds of things. They're Allen Edmonds. I don't think they're the best quality Allen Edmonds because they're sold through, I think I bought them on Nordstrom, and they were sold through them for not very much money, so reasonably good. Okay, moving down here, these are your, I think these were in the last video, these are your classic cap toe quarter brogue or whatever you call these. I'll probably put these away when the temperature gets hot, but for now, while it's still transitional, anytime I wear a more kind of formal suit, it's nice just to have a plain pair of brown Oxfords to wear with it, so I keep these around for that reason. They're developing kind of a nice patina. I don't take care of them as well as I should, but there's a nice kind of patina developing, which I like. I really enjoy shiny shoes, but I don't like to do it too often because that's a big time commitment. Okay, two more pairs of shoes, and probably my boldest shoes. Here's your classic brown and white Spectator. These are Allen Edmonds. I think they're called the Broadway model or something like that. I put the white shoelaces in, which I thought looked kind of cool. These are always fun to wear for kind of a vintage look. Probably wear these with my Gatsby inspired outfit. And then the last pair, just like with the off-white linen suit, we have the white buckskin wingtip or brogue with the red rubber sole, which I guess is traditional. You can see they're not very dirty. I don't wear them very often, and I'm told that if you wear a white buckskin shoe, if they look new, then you're kind of a loser, or like the real ones will know that you're not really seasoned. But I don't know. We're all perfectionists, aren't we? And I don't know if I got a big scuff on them. I wouldn't like that so much. But I'm going to try to wear them more this summer and give them a more kind of worn-in look about them. Okay, so that's it for shoes. Let's see. Just a couple things left to do here. What are we at as far as the time? 30 minutes. That's not too bad. Starting to get a little warm in this office. I'm going to have to take my jacket off at some point. I put in a section here called Outerwear. I think I mentioned at the outset that I don't really have a lot of outerwear for the spring, summer, but I do have a couple things. This is like a cotton field jacket, safari jacket sort of thing that I got for very little money. 100% cotton, not structured at all, basically like a shirt. You can actually put it in the washing machine, which is kind of nice, useful. It's got a belt. I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's actually, I like to wear it with ties, actually. It gives kind of like a adventure, kind of James Bond sort of look to it. So that's kind of, I don't know, I count that as outerwear. And then I've got the old trench coat here, which I featured in the fall-winter video as well. And well, it's actually been raining a lot in March and April, so this is nice to have. You can wear whatever kind of outfit you have and then just throw this over the top, and it's usually not very cold if you just try to keep out of the rain. So that works reasonably well. And then I kept a couple of sweaters from the fall-winter, just light sweaters. This is a tennis sweater I bought at the end of last year, Brooks Brothers. Actually kind of had a bad story associated with this. I found a vintage one online on eBay, And I was looking at this one too, which was new, and I was trying to decide whether to buy the vintage one or buy this one. I bought the vintage one, and I wasn't as careful with the measurements as I should have, and so I got it, and it looked like it had been shrunk or something. It was 100% wool, and you know, it just looked ridiculous on me. So I ended up giving that one to my mother, which actually fit her perfectly. And then I couldn't really just take the defeat, so I just bought the new one, and well, paid twice, I guess. But this one fits nice, and this one's actually cotton, and I don't know. Classic kind of look. Goes good with the collar pin and the club tie for that sort of old money look, or whatever people call that. And then just a couple quarter zips that I'll wear, usually if I'm cooking or something like that. Okay, so that's the outerwear. Moving now into knitwear and accessories. I'm just going to move some of these shoes out of the way so I can actually get over to them. It's very hard to transport ties, I find. I have them on this shelf in my closet. I like to roll them up. So what I did was I just removed the shelf and brought it into the room here. But of course the rolled ties have a tendency to move. And I guess I'm not really going to move this, but I'll just pick a few up and kind of show you some of my favorites and so on. I kind of divide them by formalities. I have the knit ties, and then the kind of wrap stripe ties, and the motif ties, and then the more kind of formal silk Macclesfields or foulards or whatever you call them. So I'll just pick up a few of them here. Here's some knit ties, a green and a yellow. These are cotton. Another one, pink. This one's kind of fun, kind of a salmon color. This one's kind of bold. I think this was called the Sinatra or something like that. I got it from this online retailer, Outerwear, from Australia. It's actually not very good quality. It's made from some kind of synthetic. It's not actually silk, but I don't know. I kind of like the pattern, so stick with it. A few other kind of linen paisley patterns. This one's kind of bold. This one I think is Land's End, maybe. This is one of my favorite. I don't have a lot of motif ties, but this is one of my favorite ones that I do have. You can see it's a Brooks Brothers tie, and it's a bunch of sheep that are knitting, and they're sort of knitting from one another's wool. Kind of amusing. Kids usually like that tie. A few wrap stripe ties. This is maybe my most versatile tie. Keep that one around. Kind of a spring green, Brooks Brothers. This one's kind of cool for summer. Different stripes. Here's a linen, silk, orange. Lots of bright colors. Usually the ties, the brighter tie colors are the things that I usually take out first after the fall winter. I find even when the temperature hasn't quite warmed up yet, it's nice to kind of swap out your dark ties for your light ties as a kind of spiritual change between seasons. I really like this one, pink, neats pattern. You got your yellows, you got your reds. This was actually a gift from a couple of students actually, and I must say they have good taste. Kind of polka dot one, and this one, which I keep around, even though it's kind of a darker color. Okay, so that's it for the main part of the ties. I have a few other ones that I have this bin that I keep some other ties in. I kind of run out of space for storing them, so I have kind of a, what would you say, an off-site storage. I'll just pick some of the kind of amusing ones from here. This one's kind of strange. This is a Ralph Lauren tie from, I don't know, the 90s or something. You can see it's got like sort of style diagrams or outlines on it or something like that. Kind of amusing. And then this one is well, we should be opposed to Mickey Mouse ties in general, but this is literally a Mickey Mouse tie, and it's actually rather tasteful, I think, because it's a paisley and it's not very loud, and you have to kind of look closely to see that it's actually a Mickey Mouse tie. So my kids are still in the Disney phase, so on those occasions when we do some kind of Disney related thing and I want to look good, I'm gonna wear this and mog all the other parents who wear their Disney slop. Okay, perhaps I shouldn't have said that. There's a couple more in there, but they're not that interesting. So as far as neckwear goes, we have the ties, of course, but then there's the bow ties, which I love. And these are very easy to show you because they're on this nice little hanger rack. So more bold colors, oranges, reds. I bought these ones last year. I really like these. These are Madras bow ties from Brooks Brothers that I got on sale. Here, gingham check. This one's kind of nice too. Prince of Wales. Those are fun when it heats up and you want something around your neck, but not a necktie. And then I have a couple of ascots that I started buying last summer, which are kind of, you look kind of affected, I think, but I don't know, it seems like the ascot maybe is making a comeback. I know OW Root has started a maker's line called Fox and Root, and he's manufacturing some. And once I start buying things again, I'd very much like to buy one of those. So I just have a couple. It's kind of a pink one, and this one I really like. It's got green and pink in it, which is a very preppy sort of look. And then this one's kind of versatile. Don't wear them that much, but they're always kind of interesting. They look good with this safari jacket, actually. And then, excuse me, a few pocket squares here. I think most of these I showed in the last video. I don't really change the pocket squares up, just kind of linen in sort of your basic colors, and a few silk patterns and stuff. I don't wear these silk ones very much, but this one's kind of fun. It's cotton. It's got orange, some kind of orange tree on it or something. Interesting. All right, so that's it for the accessories. The only thing I have left is the hats, of course, which I promised, and so I just have a couple here, just three. This is a kind of a Panama style hat, although it's of a sturdier straw. The straw is not quite as fine. I bought this in Long Beach, California, back actually when we attended the wedding at which I bought that linen suit I was telling you about earlier. And it's made by Stetson, and I bought it for functional reasons. But then, after I got into style, I noticed, oh, this is actually a cool look with tailored clothing. So this is one of my favorite hats. Kind of crosses the formality divide reasonably well. And you have this one, which I do not wear with tailoring generally. This is kind of a casual Trilby style hat that I got for not very much money when we were visiting Canada a couple summers ago. And it's made out of linen. I don't know. It looks goofy with this jacket. Looks goofy with this outfit, but it looks kind of okay with shorts and polo, that kind of thing. And then the last hat here. This is the classic straw boater hat, and I bought this. We did a trip to Disney World, and I saw those like barbershop quintet guys wearing these, and I thought, wow, I should get one of those. Those are cool. So I asked them where they got theirs, and there was a hat store kind of very close to the resort that had them. This was made by Scala. I don't wear it that much. It's kind of a costumey sort of look. I don't know. I'll probably wear it for my Gatsby outfit. It looks really cool with the white linen suit, but there's something about it that's not quite comfortable for me. Although maybe this summer I'll wear it more. Okay, so that's the end of the video. So that's my spring summer wardrobe, such as it is in April 2026, year of our Lord. So I don't think I have very much left to say, except that I'm enjoying this sort of no-buy year, and I'm kind of more active on Instagram now than I was in the past, and that's been kind of fun. Although it's funny, you know, we put together outfits, and there's a tendency to try to make stuff look impressive for Instagram, but of course we have to live in the world and accept the world as it is. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too long, and hope to see you on the internet and perhaps in the real world sometime very soon. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful summer, and talk to you again soon.